Hey guys, how's it going? I am here today to show you about a little program that I found and a way that to make it more accessible for more people, to make it run on more hardware than maybe it was necessarily designed to. I think it was designed to run on this hardware. They just, for liability or whatever reason, they decided that they wanted to restrict it to their newest hardware because it's kind of in beta. It's not a full featured program yet. It's just something that they put out kind of to test. You'll see it's the program is called RTX Voice, and I think it's going to be something that's pretty useful for people who work from home right now and are doing a lot of telework, or especially if you're doing online meetings, or if you're teleconferencing, you're doing the if you're doing streaming voice calls with friends and family. This could be a useful thing for people. So what this program does is it removes background noise from audio streams using machine learning and artificial intelligence, which is super cool. I mean, if you really get into like how it works and like what they're doing, but they basically put it out a little bit earlier than they may have normally done because of the situation that we're in and how useful it could be to people. And it's also helping them kind of test the software and work the bugs out. So it's not perfect, but it does work, and it's pretty cool. Um, and I'm using it right now. As you can see, I have it on. And what I want to show you guys how to do is how to get this working on GTX series graphics cards, GTX and older Quadro graphics cards prior to the RTX series graphics cards that NVIDIA put out. Now, the requirement for this is you need to have a Fermi or architecture or newer NVIDIA GPU. It will not work with the integrated graphics on Intel CPUs or any AMD Radeon graphics cards or graphics. It's not going to work with that, but it will work with any NVIDIA uh, Fermi or newer architecture graphics card. I believe that's like their GTX 4 or 500 series. It goes back quite a ways that this will actually work with, but you got to do a little workaround to get to work. If you have an RTX graphics card, this is just going to work just from the install. Like you're just going to have to do the first part of this where I show you where to get it, install it. It should work fine. If you have an older graphics card, you're going to have to do a little bit of extra work to get it to work, but it works pretty well. It does have a little bit of a performance hit if you're doing something graphics intensive. So if you're gaming or rendering or something like that, it's going to slow down your render. It's gonna give you less frames per second while you're gaming if you're like game streaming and using this. But for like people who are just doing a video call, um, shouldn't really matter. Shouldn't really hurt your system performance or your call quality at all. And if anything, it's going to help because you can, number one, and I thought this was cool enough, was that it can filter out background noise in your environment so that everyone else can't hear what's going on around you. They just hear your voice. But what's really cool is that you can remove background noise from incoming audio. And I mean, like I said, you're definitely gonna want to play. This is in beta, so you definitely want to test this and try it out with somebody. Like get on a call with somebody who you can kind of like try this stuff out with and play around with it and see how well it works for you, and just make a decision before you just jump right in and start using this on a professional call where it matters. You want to know how this is going to behave for you. So I definitely recommend testing it if you decide to try it out before you use it for anything important. But I've had good luck with it. I think it's working pretty well for me. So with that said, let's just get right into it, and I'll show you how to get it set up. So we're gonna go and jump on here now. I already kind of navigated to it, but if you go to Google and you search RTX Voice, you will get the first thing that pops up will be the NVIDIA RTX Voice setup guide. You're gonna go to that page. We're going to go ahead and download the app. So you click this link. It's going to give you the option to save. I'm going to hit cancel because I already downloaded it. I have it in my downloads. But you would hit save file, and then it'll be in your downloads. You're going to open this, right? And it's going to give you this, and then You're going to say yes when your system prompts. I think my screen blacked out when that happened. It's probably a security feature of some kind. But then it's going to go check your system to see if you have an RTX graphics card. Now, I don't have an RTX graphics card. I have a GTX 1080 Ti. So that is too old to run this, is what is NVIDIA is saying. You need the newest generation of cards because they have, according to them, there's technology on board there that helps this function better. Um, but as we'll see, I'm running this right now as we're recording this. You're listening to me being processed through this program. Um, it can run on other programs, and if you're not asking too much of your GPU, I think it does pretty well. I think if you start trying to max out the GPU, that's when it struggles a little bit. So for things like gaming and running this, you might have some more issues than if it was something like just streaming, which is basically what I'm doing when I'm recording this video. Just instead of it going to the internet and to somebody else's screen, it's just being recorded. All right, so that's an important part of the workaround. So now we're on to the part where it's a workaround. If you have an RTX card, that was all you needed to do. Just run through that installer. It'll install the program. If you don't have an RTX card, you need to do that step. You need to run it till you get to that error, then close it out. The next thing you're going to do is, if you don't have Notepad++, we're going to download Notepad++. This is a text editor that is designed for kind of scripting and coding. It just makes reading and following code a lot easier than just using like the Windows Notepad application. I think if you're going to do anything like this, it's a really helpful thing to have. Super lightweight, super small program. No reason not to have it on your computer, in my opinion. So we're going to go here to the latest release, which is at the top. Download that. Just run through the installer. Make sure it's installed on your system, and that's all you need. We're going to be using that in just a second here. All right, once we have Notepad installed, what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to, where is it? The C drive, uh, temp, NV RTX Voice, NVAFX. And there is a file in there called RTX Voice. And what you're going to do is you're going to right click on that file, and then we are going to go to Open With. And now mine already brings Notepad++ up because I already opened the file when I did this the first time with Notepad++. Yours probably won't say that at first, so you're going to have to go down here to More Apps, and then in this list is Notepad++ will be in here somewhere, and you're going to select Notepad++ to open this file. When you do that, this is the part where it gets scary, right? If you're not used to dealing with code or script, this looks intimidating. I get that, but we're going to make this super duper easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to search. We're going to go to find. We're going to type in constraints in the find what window here. Hit enter. All right, now you're going to see it highlights these two things that say constraints. Those two items plus this line in between them need to be deleted. So from the first caret to that last caret there, we're going to highlight that and we're going to say delete. Got it? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and close that out, and we're gonna hit save as. No, not save as. We're gonna hit save. Right. So we're gonna hit save, and then it's gonna say that it cannot be saved and it may be protected. Do you want to launch Notepad++ in administrator mode? The answer is yes. And then we're gonna go to save again. Now, normally when you're doing stuff like this, that was such a simple, I've done it already once, so I kind of neglected to do this first time. Normally what you would want to do is you would want to take this file and copy it, and then you would want to paste it to your desktop somewhere. You know what I mean? Keep a copy of it before you edit it, and then that way if you screw something up or it doesn't work, you can always just revert that file. So I really do recommend doing that first, especially if this is not something you do a lot. But you don't want it in this folder because then it'll confuse the program. You can't add any file. Like if I made a copy of this in this folder and it said RTX Voice 2, it won't work. It won't run the installer. So once you've done this and you have the edited new RTX Voice file, and it has to have that name, it has to be RTX Voice, you are going to navigate back up one level to the NV RTX Voice folder, and you are going to run the setup command here. And when you do that, it's going to take you back to the installer. Um, and what it's going to end up doing is it's going to run through, and it's not going to give you that error message this time. Um, I can quick show you. I'm going to have to, here you go. You're going to hear the difference right now because I'm going to shut down NVIDIA RTX Voice. All right, so now you're going to hear the difference in quality. I'm going to uninstall it. um, it's under an NVIDIA, or is it under RTX Voice? There we go. RTX Voice application. I'm going to uninstall that. All right, so I've uninstalled it, so I'm going to reinstall it now. So I click the setup after I edited the file, right? And boom, see, it goes right to the software license agreement. No error message. I can agree and continue. It installs it, and like just you know show you. Let's see if I can get this brought up here. If I go to system, let's see here. Anyway, the easiest way to show you this is so I installed it. It's going to run now. But let's see here. Where did I bring it up? So as you can see, GTX 1080 Ti, but I have the software running. And because I closed it, uninstalled it, and then reinstalled it, and then started it again, you got to see the difference. And I'm not in a noisy environment right now at all. So, but it's pretty amazing. If you go on YouTube and you look it up, it's pretty crazy. Just how good this is. There's videos of people banging hammers and having fans blowing right in their face, and it filters a lot of it out. It's pretty impressive technology. But I just wanted to make this video to show the workaround for how you basically get this running on older hardware. Hopefully this helps you out, and I hope this is something that maybe you want to give a try, and I hope it helps you out. Thanks for watching.